All right. And with that, once again, thank you for coming in today's session. I would like to call on, but first, I would like to thank all of our special partner institution, corporate members and partners, individual members for continuous support through to our foundation. Um, Without you, we cannot uh, help our countrymen in the countryside. And with that, may I call on our chairman, Mr. Ernie Ordonez, to introduce our speaker.
You've gone to 43 countries. You're a real game changer. When you were young, you were already with Sangguniang, um, being a leader there. And your group, Sustainable Energy and Enterprise Development, co-founder and CEO, fantastic. You're a climate justice warrior. You've done so many things. Actually, you were described in the handout we gave. So just a few things here. The fact is that you're an international guy. You trained in India. You have the whole country. You're doing all kinds of things from renewable energy. You deal with the poor, indigenous peoples, and all that. Well, you've been described, but what I'd like to do is allow you the opportunity at the start, which we do with our speakers, Dan, to spend 5 to 10 minutes to tell us a bit about your background, but more importantly, how you got into this so that we have a personal relationship with you. Because what we do in this forum is we don't want it to be want it to be a place where we can spread the wisdom and the energy and the leadership and the thoughts and the technology of our speakers. And we ask, first of all, that you give your phone. There are 1,200 that do connect with us monthly. Then background, but more importantly, how you got into this, what inspired you. And when you do this, you have to keep in mind that this is not a forum for people to just learn. This is a forum of business people who want to get your technology and in spreading your technology with links with government, with banks, with corporations, and all that. And I think you're so well connected. But if we can do anything to help you do this more, we'll do it, including personally being involved in some of your projects. So, anyway, Dan Diaz, it's a real honor to have you with us. There's 1,100 who come to us every month. But what we want to know is how we can spread this because we measure ourselves not in terms of how many we reach, but in terms of what happens from these forums. Because from these forums we're able to forge relationships, even get some money, etc. So this thing might be on and off. So I'd like to say, Dan, start with your phone number, then give us um, 5 to 10 minutes how you got into this, what inspires you. Then give us your talk, and at the end, tell us how we can help you. Okay, Dan? So it's great that you're here. I don't know if I'm off, but please proceed with your talk. Our president is not available right now, so I'm the chair. I'm filling up for him. Usually, I introduce and he takes care of 2 hours. I'm going to take care of the 2 hours. The first hour is for the whole community. In is English and Tagalog and Visayan as you wish. Okay, Dan, thank you so much. Please proceed with your talk.
Magandang umaga and magandang makalikasang araw nating lahat, no? And yeah, and I was advised to speak
Yeah,
in
Dan,
English, so I'll do that. And,
yes,
I'm Dan
English.
Diez,
Yeah, thank
founder
you.
and executive director of Sustainable Energy and Enterprise Development for Communities. Um, I've been working with the grassroots communities, even when I was at a young age doing volunteer work in the community. Started with our community chapel, you know, how as a young kid, you'll be able to also help in the fiesta activity. So that's how I also started my journey on not thinking of myself, but also serving the community. And also in my journey, I also been, one of the SK counselor, but I decided not to continue the politics, but do service beyond political and embracing inclusiveness. And I'm thankful for this opportunity to one of my partner and good friend, Sir Richard Arseno, who has been instrumental in, putting meaning to what inclusion is all about. It's not just being, sensitive and to the needs of the person with disability, but making them part of the governance, decision making. Even right now in the climate change, uh, disaster reductions sphere in the local government, our group always emphasize that the person with disability, seniors, citizen, has to have a role and they have to take lead in governance. So we're happy that it's slowly moving in our government councils, etc. So also, I'd like to mention that uh, I also one of the families, the family that brought me, are plain, workers, housewife, and we even uh, in my younger years, we even part of the squatter, no, squatter informal sector. In now, this is the area is in Cebu because I grew up in Cebu, and true enough, I traveled more than 50 countries already. That was not updated, but this travel is learning, volunteering, and doing some international conferences wherein I bring in our situation in the Philippines and how I can be able to learn, network, and partner with other change makers to help our grassroots community. So that's my story. I'd like to present a PowerPoint, but since it's good that maybe I just skip it off. I do have a video about our NGO Seed4Com. I would just like to ask Vivian if she can help me show it later when it's ready. But I will continue my story, like how Seed4Com or why Seed4Com started. First,
Okay, Dan, before that, may I request you to give your phone number so the whole world knows your
all
phone number? It can be
right.
office or cell, whatever. Can you give
Yeah.
it slowly, please, so we can write it
Yeah.
down?
So yes, you can reach us or reach me at um, 63956 183 9600. So that's the that's a mobile number, and our email is SEED four number that's number four com dot uh, sorry, it's like seed4com at gmail.com. So that's
Right.
the
Okay.
that's the
Good.
email address. Okay.
Okay,
So
for everyone listening, I'll repeat it. Get your pens out. The email you can write us or call us. We'll give you the email. But since you may not have time to write us, I will repeat what he said. His cell number, and thank you. People sometimes give their office number. You give me your cell number. How generous of you! It is 63956 183 9600. Our objective is to reach out, and therefore, please call him or call us if you can't get his number directly because we're talking too fast, right? But please proceed, Dan. Please proceed. You have a real exciting background. It's not 43 countries; it's more than 50 countries. You're really in demand in the Philippines, in the world. But we're glad to say that in the Philippines, you're not only in demand; you have preferential option for the marginalized, the IPs, the handicap. Fantastic. Please go ahead.
yeah, thank you so much. just to continue, so I was also fortunate that I got my scholarship training when I was in uh, graduating. I was graduating for high school, and my aunt helped me to pursue technical vocational course. It's a 3-year program, so uh, major in industrial technician program here in Cebu. Just a side note, not all can pursue higher education, but it's good that our our government invests also in the non-BS bachelor's degree. It's called the Technical Vocational School under TESDA, Technical Education Skills Development Authority. So I'm one of the graduate of a 3-year program here inside, and it really helped me in terms of making relevance to young people right now, to push for how they can be relevant in their field, uh, being unique in a sense because they have different personality and they are important in their job. So we have to look at now the career path that is demanded by the industry in the market, and how as an institution or how we are as an NGO wants to help fund for their scholarship program in terms of providing opportunity for education. So since we are a small grassroots NGO, so we always partner with DepEd in terms of the alternative learning system. So we work with different corporate social responsibility, or some international company, they will always look at the ESG, the environment, sustainability, and governance. So we don't have yet funding for grants. So we operate on a full volunteer organization. And then we are established nationwide in the areas of first is education in terms of partnering with the alternative learning system. We created a project in Cebu. We called it the Master's Farm. This was brought about COVID, when we were stuck in our own place, and we decided to cultivate one of the property backyard of one of our board member of SEED4COM in Dumlug, Talisay. And because of that, we trained the compound who lives in that area to promote organic agriculture or farming, container farming. And now that initiative that we started during the time of COVID, we already have accredited ATI learning site. So we're already opening to different schools, partners as hosts for venue for agricultural training here in Cebu, in particularly in Talisay, which is part of the province of Cebu. So that's
One question then.
yeah.
I saw also you went to India. Did you learn something in India?
Oh yeah. So I'd like to do that, maybe a question and answer type.
Wow.
Interrupt me. So yes, in India it was one of my uh a friend whom I work with in the person with disabilities, especially the deaf and the mute. Um, we created when I was president of Rotary Club in Mandawi North, District 3860 here in Cebu. I We have established a Rotaract club for the deaf. So it was
Wow.
a joint project. Because of her, she has been trained in a scholarship in Rotary, and then connect me to a lady who was looking for a nominee for the uh, International Virtual Academy Fellow. And this guy who initiated this Virtual Academy Fellow is one of the founders of the ERI. He is from India. he unfortunately he died. It's Professor M.S. Swaminathan, called maybe identified me as one of the International Virtual Academy Fellow. That was in 2007.
Okay, okay. Yeah, please
In
proceed. I just want to let
2007,
people know you're international. Please proceed with your presentation.
so
Thank you.
2007, I remember like India, I was so amazed of how internet connectivity through creating a telecenter. It's like a telecenter. It's like a hub where you have internet connectivity and it provides services for the community and it is sustainable. So in 2007, they were so advanced in terms of how they utilize internet that that introduced fintech, financial uh, transactions, e-health, telemedicine. So they were the time in 2007. Oh, we have internet, and then we have haven't utilized. We just only have like internet cafes, but not to serve the community. So after that, in 2007, those learnings from other country, and then even the farmers, the women, how microcredit is helping them. I always bring that to to adopt and then locally implement what I have learned. So
Okay, thank you. Thank
travel is not just more on for me. It's not just more on vacation, but it's more on journey to discover and learn, and at the same time bring those learnings uh, to where would I be now. So
Wow, thank
in
you.
fact,
Yeah.
yeah. So just to add note also, I was like in 2000, I was traveling also from in South America, and even when I travel, it's it's backpacking, but I always spend time to volunteer. So I remember in Peru, I volunteer with the special uh, children and also teach English. So
Oh,
so those opportunity to travel, not just to see sights, to experience, learn language. So I speak a little of Spanish, no? So I will not be lost in Spain, although
yeah,
it's
yeah.
different.
Okay, can you please proceed with your presentation? You're going to talk to us about sustainable energy and
Yes,
enterprise development.
right.
What a fantastic background. Can you proceed with your presentation
Um,
or what you want to tell us? Yeah.
Yes. So how we started, now it's the how we had started Seed4Com. It
Yeah.
was in 2013 that the Philippines was hit by the super typhoon Haiyan in November 8, 2013. And it was not just the destruction of agriculture property, but really how the impacts of climate change and the Philippines is always number one in the prone to disaster, vulnerable country, and because of the greenhouse gases that other countries uh, have contributed, and so sad that the Philippines is always hit with these uh, climate impacts, storm surge, droughts, etc. But anyway, in 2013, because of the Typhoon Yolanda, a lot of transmission lines were cut off. And then the DOE mentioned like it will take 3 to 6 months to to connect back to the grid. And we know like how power is important. In our case, the power that is needed is for the nebulizer for the senior people who live in Tolosa. So it was like the first project was really to address the instead of generator right now the cost of gas is varies because of this war. So we are always dependent on the importation. So and then when we traveled to different island, reaching out to different communities, in Samar, Leyte, we found out that the island communities, the last mile, needs help in terms of even without disaster, they need energy, they need water, the wash, their health, their sanitation is is really messed up. And the pollution that they generate because they always buy from the mainland and all are in different packaging and there's no system on collection. So they ended up in the oceans. And that's how we started Seed4Com. Like in February, we have partnered with the National NTU, National Technological University in Singapore. And one of my good friend, I met him when we were volunteer in Rome for a canonization of one of the Saint Jose Maria Escriva. Um, he was still in a college, and then through online, I was traveling somewhere in the US. Then he wants to help, and I told myself I have to go back to the Philippines. Uh, so we decided to form a team to deploy a disaster risk response for energy, and that's how Seed4Com was materialized through a project we call it Enkindle. So Project Enkindle is to light up homes, to light up communities and villages. So we started with sustainable energy after the Typhoon Yolanda, and it was from 2014 even until now. We promote not just promotion for just energy transition, but to make sure that the last mile can be connected to a clean renewable energy. And our dream is they have to own it also. So it's a community-based energy system that they have that ownership. So that vision of ownership for renewable in a community is not yet materialized. So I'm still hope we already have deployed solar in the homes, solar rooftop in schools, in the chapel, but the idea here is we're looking for partners who can help our vision in the sustainable energy to create either solar farms or a hybrid so that we can earn and from that income we can continue. So we will not rely anymore on corporate or donations. So it's like a social enterprise. And my social enterprise journey brings back to uh, 2007, also very historic. When I was in Germany, I bought a book of Ramin Bank when Professor Muhammad Yunus was confirmed as a Nobel Peace Prize. So the social enterprise, microcredit, and giving capital to the poor and marginalized is always with me now. So that's how poverty is said that poverty is created by society because they neglect uh, the the needy by providing them difficulty in accessing or starting their business. So I'm happy that all of us here listening live or on YouTube when it's uploaded are doing something not just for our company, for ourselves, but for the others that we would like to reach out. So that's the story about the sustainable energy. And the name of Seed4Com was anchored to the Sustainable Development Goals because in 2015, the Millennium Development Goals is about to end, and the UN already come up with a goal for up to 2030, and now we're close to 2030, and in all the matrix on contributions of each country, the COVID, the geopolitical war, we haven't reached even the target for the 2030 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So we still have to do a lot of efforts, not just working alone, but through partnerships for the goals. And I'm happy that this forum can bring in so many opportunities for partnerships. So So that's why it's called sustainable energy and enterprise development for communities. So what is the other E? So the enterprise. So we know that in order to uplift, change, and transform lives, we have to importantly bring in the foundational pillars on education, whether this is formal, non-formal, community-based training. So education change attitudes, behaviors. It takes time, behavior change. And it's not just teaching them how to fish, but the enterprise development teach them how to sell their fish, how to market their fish. So they will not just go for one day, but they will create jobs. And right now, the direction is green jobs, on, and protecting our people, protecting our planet from from destructive industries. So because we want that the next generation can also experience, we will not give them so much problem of our of our action, and that is all about sustainable development. So that's how we do the enterprise, because when we visit island and mountain, we always see the lack of opportunities for the access to capital, um, the businesses transact with, they buy cheap and sell. So the inputs of the farmer, you know that already, that there's a gap in terms of the logistics. The logistics is too costly. The inputs is getting higher each year, and they always survive through loan, and then they pay the loan, and then they have to loan again to repay, and then loan again to start again their farming, especially in the upland communities. And so how did we do uh, our intervention? So our interventions, for example, in the upland community here, in particular in Talisay, Dumlog, these are vegetable farmers, around 30 members. They always plant vegetables, and then the good thing is that they are a association, and then they rent one 3-hectare area for communal, but the rest they have their own area where they plant. So the idea here is every week they gather to do a communal activity for vegetables. And then when we met them, we have a corporate partner. And then Talisa is also known for, before was cacao, tablea. So we decided that for 3 years we have an MOA with corporate partner. Every year they plant cacao, and at first the farmers don't like that idea, because they're more on the vegetable, and when you plant cacao it takes 3 to 5 years. So now we're on our fourth year, so they're so happy that they can have additional sources, not just the vegetable. And the interventions from different companies is not just to plant, but to visit them twice a year, to monitor, to have an activity or fellowship during Christmas. So it really boosts our farmers in the upland community, that they're happy. They even cried, like the service that the government, sad to say, failed to reach them. But because of us and you and your foundation have reached also these upland farmers, and you know that how it feels, and we're so happy that they become one of the awardees as People's Association in the local government. Now they got grants from Dole, the Dole for a fish farm. So I mean, these outcomes takes time, but we also see like how they are reaching out to other associations as models. So that's one example on how we do the enterprise development. It's not because of me or for our organization, but because we have partners that really goes out of their way, even very far, they go to that particular area. For the fisher folks, this is very interesting. Cebu is one of the contributor for the seaweed industry, but sad to say, through pollution, through sea level heat, there's a lot of even extreme heat. The seaweed industry here in urbanized island communities, like even in Bohol, have problems now on the growth of seaweeds. So mostly they are in Mindanao, Zamboanga, etc. So because these are clear water. But the point is, how are we helping our seaweed growers now? So in particular here in Cordova, where I also had a project, we are a CSO, civil society organization accredited in local government. We capacitate and form them as a association. So at first they don't like, and it's difficult to work with their groups because they don't know how to lead, how to manage, how to have a meeting. So we started our program in that island 2014, but in 2020, I guess they decided and accepted to form a association of seaweeds, and I'm happy that they continued their meeting, and then after 2 years, they got award maybe from Dole for a boat. So the boat is for island hopping because Cebu is known for island hopping, and then the justification was that the boat will serve as a multi-purpose for their seaweeds transport, and if not used, they can sell the boat for island hopping in partnership with the local government of Cordova. So our small interventions in these identified sectors, working with partners and corporate social responsibility, even with government has lots of money and funds, but they don't know how to apply, or they don't know that there is such thing as opportunities offered by the government. So we as an NGO in the grassroots connects with them. And even with women, we also have women project right now. We are helping smoke bangus for those who wants to order. Yeah, so there's a minimum, but here in Cordova, the local government funded by the Department of Agriculture, they have fish like a fish pen along the side of the CC of the bridge. So if you're coming to Cebu, the longest bridge right now is connecting Cebu and landed in the Cordova. It's called 9 kilometers. You can even walk, and during high tide or even low tide, you can see the project of the community fish bangus farming, and for the women to have higher value, we introduce and support their smoked bangus. And how did we uh, start to support these women? Usually there are projects that are funded by different organizations, and then they last for 2 to 3 years. So since they end their project, so we're the one to continue what they have been doing in terms of marketing because they don't anymore come to that area. So our network in the Philippines is through chapter. So we have different volunteers that would lead in different areas, whether I told about energy, right? About renewable energy, about education, and then the third is enterprise. So the fourth is environment. So this is very important also in terms of why we have to take care of our environment. So I was recently been awarded by as a global I don't know what to call it, but a global um, what was the certificate? Just recently, DNR hosted an award. It's a Global Gratitude Award. So I so I just here now I was just showing you guys, but this was a global gratitude as guardian of the sea. So I'm so happy that they recognize my small effort here in the Philippines since 2014, doing cleanups in the coastal. We have this national cleanup campaign partnership with DNR, Environmental Management Bureau, for a national cleanup day. And Sir Richard and the PWD communities was part of the organization of the national cleanup. They even lead a cleanup in one of the identified cities. So it's not just cleaning up, but also doing mangrove planting. So some companies in Cebu and all over the Philippines reach to us, and we provide greening program for them because we have partner communities and volunteers all over the country. So we're not just in Cebu, but we operate nationwide. And currently, we are doing um, coral coral conservation. At the same time, artificial reef planting, because in Tino, the Typhoon Tino in 2021, Cebu is a diving tourism. The corals has been like damaged, because of the strong surge and then the waves. So it's really flattened the corals, and not just the human intervention. Some still use dynamites in 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 some areas in the islands, which there's no pantay dagat or a watch coast guard, so they will do some illegal activity. But nature also, calamities have also destroyed our corals, and we know corals is one of the important habitat for our fish, and we know that ocean provides more than the trees in terms of oxygen that we breathe. So, and ocean is 70% of our planet. It's still undiscovered, and we're happy that we partner with Marine Bio, some divers. We're doing reef artificial reefs in Pilutungan, where is the Marine Protected Sanctuary, and in Oslob. So Oslob is where you have the whale shark. Uh, the problem was there's no fish catch of the fishermen because of the destruction of the corals. So we're doing artificial reef and coral fragment planting. So basically, that's the environment side. So we call it 4Es, SEED4COM. You have energy, making sure that everyone is connected to a power source, whether we will insist in the last mile to have cleaner energy, because sometimes if you use a generator, it's so noisy, and pollution, and the cost for gas is expensive. And environment, that's we are part of the environment. We call it law of life, land, air, water. We have to take care, because if we
Mhm.
don't take care our land, air, water, then it can kill us, can provide unhealthy environment, and we'll get sick. So the next E is education, and then the fourth is enterprise development. So
Sir
how
Dan?
do we reach, maybe just to sum it up, how do we reach inclusiveness? We have also reached to indigenous people. Right now, globally, there is a group in the United Nations of indigenous people. When we talk about sustainability, food security, well, the wisdom and the experiences of the indigenous people and tribe matters. So when we talk about sustainability, when we talk about survival, we have to learn from the indigenous knowledge and wisdom. So that's the key point why we've been helping the indigenous in terms of lighting and energy, and then marketing and providing them with access to education, and support their traditional educational system, because they are different. So we have reached from north south, maybe we have like 10 indigenous partners with our NGO doing weaving, handloom weaving, seaweeds, farming, from the fishing community. So we always been happy that we are not just for highly urbanized, but we focus on the last mile. We call it GIDA, the geographically isolated uh, this advantage area. And and last is our person with disabilities, senior citizen, and early childhood care. So we have been helping a lot of research, conducting research how we can improve the inclusiveness of climate, disaster governance with person with disabilities, and then the how climate have impacted the early childhood care. We also have that done a research that the sad news is like there's no programs of even though recently the the government already signed the RA, Early Childhood Care Development Act, but how we respond to that was like in every outreach or calamity, we always think like what are the early childhood sector need? Is it
Oh, okay, Dan.
the
Yeah,
health care?
we have 1 more hour from 9 to 10, but this one for the international audience, it ends in 15 minutes, right? So I just want to
Yeah.
summarize a few questions, then we go to the second session, which is not open to the public. Basically, you're involved in so many things, so very many things. So actually, what your organization does, it seems, is you go into so many areas, and you can do so many things, right? So the question is, given that we know you do those many things, how can we, listening to you, help you in what you do? Because that's the main thing, right? Because you do so many things, and we want to know, you share this with us. How can we, the audience, help you in any way you wish us to help?
Mhm. Okay. So in terms of help, there's always three T's, right? They always mention like the three T. What are they? Talents, no? Our volunteers has so much talents
So we
that
can
they
volunteer, right? I just
yeah,
want you to be direct to us. We're listening to you, 1,200 of us now. So, number
correct.
one, talents. In other words, we can volunteer and be part of your group with talent. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, and we
So
have your number. It's in the chat box. Okay, what else?
and then so when you take a volunteer, it always have time, whether few or per project. And then the last is our treasure. So the treasure can be either personal. We always go for in our social media in SEED4COM when there is a project, we always post like we need to support. So for example, right now we are doing our reef check. So we send out letters usually to corporate to provide meals or host for in-kind donations, but our missing here is actually is our administrative operations. So we
Okay,
haven't
fine.
had even opportunity for grants to do an operation for 3 years. Mostly it's per project.
Oh, okay.
So
We'll have other people ask questions, but basically, let me summarize. You do so many things. How we can help is number one. Um, I think we can Google you, and find out what you do. Then we can volunteer. Those listening, if you want to volunteer, you can also give donations, etc. Now we'll open the floor to other people, and then from 1 hour, from 9 to 10, we can have more opportunity for discussion. But let us open the floor first. We have 10 minutes left. We'd like to ask people listening if you have any questions or suggestions. Can Vivian, can you call the first person who would like to raise their hand or would like to speak? Vivian?
Um, so far, sir, there's no question in the chat box, though. Sir Dan, would you still like to present po ba the video you have
No, no, no,
forwarded
no,
to
no, no.
us?
It's okay. It's okay. No, the 10 minutes are too important. I'm sure there are other people who want to talk. Anyone who'd like to talk, just speak up. You don't need to raise your hand anymore. Just speak up because we have 10 minutes left, and this is a time for getting some interaction. Of course, from 9 to 10, we'll have much more interaction. But now, for the international audience, we'd like to find out if there's any questions you would have or suggestions.
Also, just to share, we also have we had an opportunity to host international volunteers in our organization, and even looking for internships. So we link them up, and they come up with research about plastics, and then just recently, um, speaking to respond to the tremors, the earthquake in the Salangani area. So just this week, we I talked to a couple who is from Iceland, a Filipina wife wants to help in terms of renewable energy to address the problems right now in the Salangani because the same with Yolanda maybe because the transmission has been damaged, so it takes time to reconnect again. And then the problem is not just power, it's water because the pumps, there's no pump for the water, so they need water in those affected areas. And then yeah, and then friends of Richard, we met in Manila, so I'm not going to disclose it yet, but they have a pilot for desalination. We're so excited. We will try it for an island of grid or an island that has power to do desalination. So
Yes, yes, yes. We
some
understand. There's a
abroad,
lot. Yeah, we understand. We have five
yeah,
minutes
there's
left.
some abroad.
I'd like to say this, Dan. No, you're doing great stuff. We have 5 minutes left. I just want to make sure the audience gets it. No, you're really into a lot of things, and we can contribute money. You can contribute volunteerism and all that, and you can talk somewhere in the next hour about so many other things. But we'd like to make clear, no, in this first hour, what you have is a fantastic opportunity to work in so many different areas, so many, and therefore the opportunity with your connections and your wisdom, they can really call you up, they can read about you, they can write, etc., etc. Now, I just want to ask, right before we got like 5 minutes left, is there anyone else who'd like to talk or share or ask questions about this? Because we have another hour to talk about more things, right? But I'd like to know the last 5 minutes. Anything else? If not, I'm going to ask a few questions. Okay. The last 5 minutes, I'll be point blank, right, and do this. Of course, we have 1 more hour, right? You're very well connected. I think it's fantastic what you're doing, and you are really into so many things. Now we are here, businessmen, professionals, and all that, and we have certain connections that might help. Now we're into agriculture. You're of course into energy of agriculture. You're into vegetables, mangroves. That's all part of what we're doing. The question I have is this, right? The government has lots of money, and much of it is not used properly. All right. Now you're talking here about billions of pesos. Now, we want you to know that we are connected to the Department of Agriculture because, as private sector, we were elected as chairman of critical committees, and therefore, we'd like to know this. Uh, you have so many things. Of those things, they have to pick and choose what they can really do. Who are you connected with in government at the high level right now in the Department of Agriculture? Anyone?
For the Department of Agriculture, just in the region, through the ATI, because we are part of that, but the secretary, we don't have. Although casually we attend some conference and forums, so where they are a speaker. DOST, DOST in the region where we are is also a good partner. They know us in terms of the science innovation, so these are also two
Okay,
two
okay,
two
okay. What we'll do is we'll build on your connection. You're in touch with ATI in your region. What region is this? Region 7? Region
Seven, yeah,
7. Okay.
seven.
What is the name of your main contact there? What's the name of your main contact?
She's one Mary Jane. Mary Jane. She's one of the specialists.
ATI. All right. Okay. 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 Before we close it, so we have something concrete from this, no? What we'll do is we'll go to Mary Jane, who knows you very well. We'll find out what can be broadcast. We'll find out about the money available because sometimes the region does not know the national funds available. And from that, no, because you said you need treasure also, no, your good
Mhm.
projects need money for solar, mangrove, etc. No, so we'll contact Mary Jane, and we will build from there. Okay. There's one more hour where we have informal discussion, but for the international audience, you know his number. Let me repeat it. It's 639-561-839600. Just call us if you can't get it now. And of course, in the chat box is his email as well. But to conclude, we'd like to say this, no? He's into so many things, his expertise in so many areas. What we, the audience, must do is we must find out what area we think we should be involved in with him because he has this network, etc. And his beauty is that he's a leader. He has his connections all over. And what we can do actually, since we have the connections with the national government, we talk to the secretary at least once a month. We can actually link up to Mary Jane and ATI, find out more about your collaboration with her, and if there's an opportunity to get whether it's talent or treasure, that the good work is is expanded because sometimes government gets into projects that are not really proven, and yours where they're proven, we'd rather expand in proven areas than go into areas where we're not so good in track record. You have the track record. Okay. So on that note, we'd like to thank you. We'll have our discussion where there'll be more interaction. So Vivian, can you please give the closing, and then we'll proceed to the informal session. But this session is recorded internationally. Okay. Well, Dan, let me say thank you very much for that nice talk. We now know the breadth of your coverage, and we'd like to spread your expertise. All right.